and welcome. In today's video, we are going to be doing a splurge versus steel type of comparison. We're going to be comparing the Artis brushes versus the Real Techniques blend and blur brushes. And the way that I'm going to be doing that comparison is I'm going to do a full face application, half of my face using the Real Techniques brushes and half of my face using the comparable Artis brushes. And hopefully by the end of the whole application, we'll be able to see, is it worth the splurge? Are you better off taking the steel? The first brush comparison is going to be the Artis 8 versus the Real Techniques foundation brush. Now, the Artis 8 or the Artis Oval 8 comes in at $67. The Real Techniques foundation brush comes in at $19.99. So the right side of my face, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques. The left side of my face, I'm going to be using the Artis, and that's what we're going to be doing all the way through. And I'm going to go in with my foundation. Going to do one pump on each side, one pump per brush. So starting on the right side with the Real Techniques blend and blur. So here is the makeup deposited on the brush. I've done one pump of my foundation. And let's go right in. Okay, so the left side of my face, again, I'm going in with the Artis Oval 8, one more pump, getting that deposited. And already on the Artis, we can see that the makeup is sitting a little further up on the bristles. Both of these are synthetic. All of the Artis line uses what they call Cosma fiber, and the Blend and Blur Real Techniques line is also synthetic. But I do have to say that it looks like the Artis is right now absorbing less. Let's get it on the face and see. And it is definitely absorbing less of the product. I can tell you that right away. You can probably see the coverage from one side to the other. It is stretching way further. So here we go. They both blend the product really well. I feel like I need a little more coverage on my cheeks. So I'm going to go ahead and do a full pump and split that between the two brushes. Okay, so that's blended. Next, we're going to go on to concealer. And for concealer, I'm going to use the Artis Oval 3 versus the Real Techniques shadow brush. The Artis Oval 3 costs $41. The Real Techniques shadow brush costs $12.99. Starting off with the Real Techniques. Here's how it picked up color. And let's go in. I don't feel like this is doing a really great job of blending the concealer per se. I feel more like it's just kind of spreading it out and moving it around. So I am going to go in on this side with my finger and kind of get it worked into my skin a little better. Okay, so the Real Techniques on the left side, all again, going right in. Here's the product. Like the Oval 8, it seems to sit a little higher up, doesn't soak into the bristles as much as the Real Techniques. This one seems to blend it a little better, but it still is not blending it kind of the way that I would like it to blend. So I am going to go ahead and finish with my fingers, but it is, I do have to say, it is blending better than the Real Techniques did. But I am going to finish with my fingers. Okay. So that's completed. Now I'm going to powder and set everything into place. For powder, I'm going to be comparing the Artis palm brush at $65. And then we have the Real Techniques all over brush. And this one retails for $19.99. First, I'm going to go in with my Real Techniques and dip in and work that powder into the brush. Knock off the extra. Next, I'm going to go in to the left side using the Artis palm brush. Again, I'm going to load up, get that brush in there, knock off the excess. The Artis palm brush does have a little finger notch, so that's kind of nice when you're holding it. Feels like it's made for your hand. But of course, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get these little luxury touches when it's a difference of $40 for the brush. You know, you're 20 versus 65. Okay, now that my face is set, I'm going to go in and do my contour. And for those, I'm going to be comparing the Artis Oval 7, which retails at $62, versus the Real Techniques Contour that retails at $16.99. Going into the right side. On the left side, we're going to go in with that Oval 7, same color. There is our contour completed. Next, we're going to go on and we are going to do some blush. And with the blush, we will be comparing the Real Techniques Oval 6 versus the Real Techniques Cheek Brush. Oval 6 comes in at $57. The Real Techniques Cheek comes in at $16.99. And we're going to do just a soft blush. And moving on to the Artis Oval 6. There we go. So with our blush and contour done, I think now we can move on to eyeshadow. And going back to those brushes that I originally did use for my concealer, that is the Oval 3 coming in at $41 and the Real Techniques Shadow coming in at $12.99. So I'm first going to use a light color. I'm using the Naked Urban Decay Basics. So I'm going to go in with that first color and use that as a base all over the eye. And that color actually is called Skimp. Okay, so I think that's probably as far as I can go using all of these Real Techniques brushes. I'm going to finish up my face. I'm going to do that off of camera, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts on the Splurge versus Steel showdown. Okay, we are back, and I actually realized halfway through the rest of my makeup that I forgot something. So before I give you my final thoughts, I'm actually going to do another comparison of the Artis palm brush versus the Real Techniques all over brush. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply liquid bronzer to each arm using the different brushes to see if one application is superior over the other. So, okay, so let's go in. I'm going to, on my right arm, I'm going to be using the Real Techniques. So this is what the brush looks like with the bronzer applied to it. And let's go ahead. Okay, so here is the arm, the right arm with the bronzer applied with the Real Techniques brush. Obviously this bronzer is a little too warm for me, but we're going to ignore that. We're just going to kind of take a look and see how blended it is. And next I'm going to do the left side with the Artis palm brush. Going in. Here's what it looks like with the color on the brush. Here's the arm. And here are our two arms. So here's what I would have to say. First and foremost, I believe that both of these brushes, the Real Techniques and the Artis, they both excel in face applications. The Oval 3 and the Real Techniques Shadow, I don't actually care for either one of them. They're awkward using them to apply eyeshadow. They don't do a very good job of blending out your concealer. They spread it and they make it go a little further, but you still have to go in with another step to get your concealer blended. So I don't see either one of these as having much of a purpose in anyone's collection. As far as the rest of the Artis versus the Real Techniques brushes, they both are equal when it comes to blending. They both blend liquid and cream and powder products beautifully. It's fast, it's easy, it's seamless. So as far as blendability, both of these brushes excel in just about the same way. They're both fabulous for blending. The difference between the Artis brushes and the Real Techniques brushes is that color and product seems to sit higher up on the Artis brushes, which means that you get more of a payoff out of your product. You're going to get more color out of your product. You're going to have foundation go a little further. So if what you're looking for is a tool that's going to help stretch your makeup so that you don't have to buy your pricey foundations as often, the Artis is definitely going to be the way to go. But given that the fact that amongst these amongst these 5 brushes, the total of the Artis brushes is $292 versus the Real Techniques brushes at $86.95 full retail. And of course, as you and I know, these are offered at Ulta. You can always find some sort of a coupon at Ulta, whether it's the $3.50 or $5 off of your purchase, or oftentimes they have the 20% off, or you can use your points, or oftentimes these are on sale. For example, when I bought all of my Real Techniques Blend and Blur brushes, they were on sale, buy one, get one half off. So I did not pay the full $86.95 retail. So overall, if I had to be pinned down to recommend one line of brushes versus the other, given the fact that the Real Techniques cost 1/3 of the Artis brushes and it blends just as well as the Artis brushes, I would absolutely recommend the Real Techniques Blend and Blur. So I hope that you have found this video helpful today. I thank you very much for watching this video. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.